Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham at the third at your service. Today we're going to be talking about copyright versus copyright. Now, a lot of you may think, what's he talking about that for? I said copyright versus copyright. Right, we know the original artists of Thomas Music in general, from season 1 all the way to 24, plus its movies. Who gets the full credit? Who gets the full whack? I said I already know who the criminals are, the thieves, if you will. I said Mattel fucked up, number 1. 2, the artists that thought they created the Thomas theme. Wrong. It's always there's always real life to real life. It's like copyright versus copyright has a lot to do with it, right? There's a lot of countries out there that are partly trying to block my videos for obvious reasons. I don't give a damn at the moment because the copyright versus copyright just smacks it right out of place for them. Right? When people realise it's real life and not a bloody children's book, what does it lie to? It's real life. I can't argue. Right? It's real life. Live with it. Right? Sometimes a lot of people don't get it. It's real life. Right? Because it's reality. Right? When people do things for franchises, doesn't matter what it is, Tom, Dick or Harry, it ends up with reality on the other end because it's reality in real life. I said, yeah, I warned you once, I warned you twice, I warned you 3 times already. Doesn't matter. Copyright versus copyright. It can actually happen. And it destroys the copyright law from the bottom up. So then what happens? It's real life, you can't deny that. And then when you hear people's music from beginning to end, Mattel think they own it all. They just, in every angle, they're gonna say they got sued. Big time sued. Why? Because they try to claim the Thomas theme as their own. I said, fuck off. Not on my watch. Not on everybody's angle, sir. So what happens when certain things is given to them and they screwed up? They think they own the rights. N-O. Because when you break down the Thomas franchise, the series, the whole lot, it goes to different people besides one company. So when I think about all the people that want to sue your fucking damn arseless, copyright versus copyright. Right? It's not a joke. Different countries are acting like assholes, excuse my language. So, right, let me explain something to you, right? When a copyright versus copyright, right, doesn't matter what country you come from, you deserve to have the rights to know about certain things, right? I'm an open door policy job to recorrect problems, left, right or centre. Copyright versus copyright. Right, when it comes to copyright versus copyright in other countries, you should know who's the original artist for Toby's theme. And YouTube nailed it. Because why? Because I've given them their evidence to say this is the match for Toby's theme and the other theme. Match. Right? So they already nailed it and made it quite clear in every angle. So what they say, I'm doing a fair use policy 1976, which is fair because I'm not selling it. I'm not disputing it, nothing. Just giving out a little sample just to prove the actual proof where the original music came from. Right? It's telling YouTube as example, I'm respecting other people's work here. Right? When the Toby's theme was done by those 2 criminals I mentioned, so in the last podcast, I stated to you they got stumped. Right? So when we watched series 1 to 13, I think, all the way to 12, who's got the bloody credit laid down the line don't get the credit. We know who the original artists are, Thomas's theme, so I'm not going to argue. Why? Because I always have the one thing they don't have. Right, when copyright versus copyright, who are you going to laugh at? Yourselves? No, real life. Right, it's real life. Right, I'm not going to flaming damn argue with you, or Tom, or Dick, or Harry, because it's reality. Right, when it all goes down to it, right, when it comes down to music, right, it goes down to the original artists, the original McCoys, the bottom liners, if you want to call them correctly. They didn't get respected, they didn't get credited. No, who got the fucking credited? And I'm now going to put them in. I said, yeah. Right, a lot of people think Thomas's theme was based on one. I said, look, dealing with Thomas's theme is like a delicate one of all time, right? Right, when it all goes down in black and white, they say, right, a lot of people think, why? Why did they fuck up? Why did they complain? I said, yeah, well, they stole it. So what happens when it all goes in black and white? Right, my mother, Dowager Hatt, wants me to tell you the truth. Right? I'm not going to lie, because it's no damn joke in the end. Right? Michael Donald and Julia Campbell actually stole the music from everybody. Tom, Dick, and Harry. It doesn't matter who it is. But the fact is, I know who the original artists are. When it all goes down to it, it goes backwards, then it goes forward. Think about it. Right? A lot of people think this is all a joke. I said, no, it's no fucking joke. When it comes to copyright versus copyright, right? YouTube has already picked up on Toby's theme, and now they're going to make sure that sticks. Why? Because I'm not going to have them just saying what. I did not realise it was linked to that. Now they're going to use their noggins. Ding, 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 ding. And they will try and clip the regional artists' work and then bang it in. Why? You're not going to, you know, thank these two bastards. You're going to thank the original artists, which is fair to say. Where copyright versus copyright, fuck them. The original artists come first. Why? Because they are number one on the list. Right? These two, or what you call these two little shits, right, stole the music from underneath them. Right? A lot of people have problems in this. I said copyright versus copyright. I said it in the day. Look what is unfolding in front of you. You've got these two little shits stole all the music from underneath you. All the music artists, you better start making Mattel a suing act right at the moment, because Mattel did the same. Why? Same trick. Right, Mattel screwed up. Right, I'm not going to argue. Mattel screwed up with the same issue. Right, but we always think that they know everything. I said no. Right, when we all say this in correct mode, I said yeah. Now, let me talk about the way, the background, the history of it, why copyright versus copyright, why it's audio is always the hardest one, right? 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 They always screw up on the same fucking issue. But you have to credit Britt Allcroft, Reverend Wilbert Awdry, myself. Why? Because it all connects. Three pieces become a whole. Right? Then you add up. Right? When I return, I deal with all these problems because I want to make sure the fair use goes to everybody, yes, which is number one. The copyright owners still have their respect intact rather than thrown out of the bag, my ad. And then what happens? While they try to sell their music, they cannot. Why? Let me give you an example, right? Just because of these two, right? Thinking they could get away with blue murder of dead people's music. That's why I put it correctly to begin with. Dead people's music and people alive. Right? People that are alive today are going to start fighting back. Why? Because they will learn this to Mike O'Donnell and Julia Campbell. Think about it. They're not dead. They're stupid. So what happens? When the original artists that are still selling the original track in whole, right? You got a sample and you got the full track. Right? The full track would actually be better for you than a sample that's been used in Thomas and Friends. Right? So when all the music is being produced by the real artists, they get these two got the falsified evidence saying, oh, we will claim it as ours. Fuck you. Why? Because it's reality. Copyright versus copyright, you can't get away with it. Right? When it all unfolds in front of you, you're going to start saying it's real life, it's facts, it's logic. Right? Mattel screwed up with the same issue. Why? They keep doing the same pattern, thinking they can get away with it. I said, don't ever, in any angle, in any direction. So what happens when it goes bang, 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 wallop? People saying, why does the copyright versus copyright? People are asking that as a question, but they want a simplified answer. Right? A lot of people know that you can't just take their music and get the full credit for it. That's wrong. Not even for a small piece. Because the original artists now going to start working on cracking down on this because they have rights as much as you do. But the stealers are getting the full credit. They will go to prison and they will die. Why? Because they didn't grow up here. So when you think of all the people that actually contributed to the music and put it all into Thomas and Friends as well, right? A lot of people do what you call like a back alleyway direction approach, right? Cops don't always see this. It's like saying they do it in backdoor alleys so they can get the information passed along quicker, right? I don't like it as much as I don't give a damn at the moment. It's copyright versus copyright. It's one way direction to say to you, you screwed. Everybody applies the same copyright to everywhere around the globe, right? A lot of problems go around in circles because it tends to act in the best interest of the original artists, right? When we talk about original artists, we talk about it, right? Original music artists is what we're looking for. Right, the original artists cannot always fight back as the new ones can. So work it out. Right, a lot of people say what? Let me get this right. Original of the. Excuse me, Mark. When you're dealing with original music, right? How do you actually know where it's coming from? Well, the only way to do it is verify where it originally came from to begin with, because you have to go back to the original artist, right? Sometimes when we talk about original music artists, right, it could go back to anybody, right? But how do you find out where they originally came from to begin with? Right, the original artist deserves their respect. Deserves their respect. Right, which is true. I'm not going to argue on this one. Right, because when it all goes down the line, you're going to end up finding out shit. I did not realise it was based on that. I said, yeah, well, look at it, Mr. Booze, Gordon's theme. It all adds up, right, when it all goes down. But when it comes down to the actual footage, the video footage, you give Brett Orcroft the credit for that. Right, and it all adds up. So when Brett Orcroft comes crying down the wharf, when she will whistle blow, and she will knock all the copyright out of you lot. Right, for those two artists that I mentioned, right, she will find out that the original artists are now resurfacing from the dead to reclaim their rights and respect. So the original artists will now have to deserve their respect. Right, so when you buy a track off the internet or you know who the artists are, right, would you moan about that or complain about that? No. So what happens? Ringo Starr and the others as well, they're all going to fight back and say, look, yes, it's our work, ding, 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 because they have their rights. They have their respect. But regardless, it's only a sample. The whole track is right there in black and white. You know what? Sometimes when people file copyright versus copyright, normally it's not an easy key to live with. Right? You're going to end up learning the hard way. Right? The footage belongs to Miss Brett Orcroft herself. Why? Because she helped the creators to film it all. So work it out. Well, Michael, I'm not going to argue because in the day, seeing these two buggers stole the music, right? They didn't compose it. If they did it from scratch, from like saying let's do it ourselves, then it'd be legit, right? If they used other people's work, then it's not legit. It's false bloody music, but it isn't. It's the original artists that get the credits, and it goes to Danny Hoffman for the Batman theme, and it adds in and adds in and adds in. So when you got a song called like Don't Stop, what does that go to? Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Ding, ding, ding. So then what happens? It goes back to the original music artists. Deserve their respect. Right? It's about saying how many artists do you think contributed to the actual Thomas franchise? A lot more. Right, I get it. But each copyright has to be verified to understand Mattel doesn't own nothing. They're busting their chops, they're busting their balls, saying, we own it, we own it, we own it, we own it, we own it. I said, you don't own fuck all, Mattel, because I'm fighting you from this end. You're ending up kicking up the arse. I said, copyright versus copyright. You got original music artists themselves deserve their respect because they're the ones that helped to put it all in for you. You can't just get the full credit for everything. When I find out that the original artists never got respected for their own music because they're still selling it as a proper track with that music, with that little bit of clip of music as well. And if YouTube can pick up on that, then other people will do. And they will fuck you over. And there will not be a copyright fight against it. Why? Because I will tell you, You're dealing with real life. It's real life from the beginning to end. You cannot stop it. Why? When people realise what's it, you know what? The biggest mistake, which is why I said the original music artists deserve their respect. Why? Why do you think I buy their music? Respect. Why do I buy it? Not just to listen. It's about the actual core up here, realising where the music is originally coming from. When it all goes down on paper, do you cry? Do you move? And go, you know what I mean? Then people ask the big question. What's the valuable about copyright versus copyright? Right? I know about certain countries are trying to partly block my bloody videos, and I am aware of it. In every direction. So when you block a hat, you'll fucking go to prison. That's how strict it is. I said if you partly block it, you go boof. Right? It tells you how much people don't realise what is original and who deserves the respect. And I said Mattel had the same problem as these guys. Look, Michael Donald and Julia Cabot, they stole the music. And then Mattel screwed up with the same issue. And now the original artists deserve their respect, which is true. I'm not going to argue with that. First thing in the morning or last thing at night, copyright versus copyright. I tell you, why do you know what is unfolded and you know exactly the truth is unfolding in front of you? I can't go round and round in circles and said original artists deserve their respect in all eyesight. Right? And every day you're going to end up with a sticky situation to say who built it, who actually got the music up and going first. Right? You praise the original artists all the time, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. Right? To the kids' eyes right now, they don't understand who actually originally owned it. They don't. They know that those two idiots down below, they stole the music from the original artists. So work it out. When it all goes down on paper, my grandfather, Sir Topham the I, made sure that I fight back the last small pieces that he can't fix straight away. So what happened when the original music artists, they deserve their respect. You can't complain, you can't argue, you can't do nothing. Copyright versus copyright? Yeah, I also know a lot more things than what the other countries are doing. They're thick in their skulls. They're not thinking straight. Do you know what? I was actually a little bit curious to know why I know so much in one else. I said the Beatles are one, obviously being the easiest target. I said, yeah, when people do research like YouTube and they actually look down and realise shit, it is realistic down the line, I said, yeah, you know, end of the day, when it all goes down on, in the end, it all adds up. Right? When we all talk about where the music comes from, where it all comes from in general, people are not paying attention. I said, you're going to and you will do. You're not going to flaming argue with that. Right? I'm not going to bullshit with the bush. So when I said to you so many times that in the day I always give credit to the people that do the music, right? Let me give you an example, right? The close to the Edge, right, was one of the artist's songs. Now, if you ask for Toby's theme, this is where you will fucking find it, because it's reality, right? Close to the Edge by Yes, which it is. Right, I'm not gonna lie on that, because that's one of the original artists. Toby's theme, which is true. So this is the Close to the Edge by Yes is Toby's theme to add it in. So I'm not bloody bragging about it. I said, yeah, if you got that song, I'm just going to put this in because this is going to make it a little easier for you. There you go. So, realistically, why do I always fucking clear up all your dirty mess when the original authors deserve their respect for their music? Right, in the 70s and the 60s, it may not be as very strict copyright, but now I'm making even stricter and tighter because it's a lot of songs that you did not realise, ping palapum, right? So when you listen to it, pay attention to it, and you will realise shit. That's why I said regional music artists deserve their respect in every corner. Right? When there's video footage, right, I gather that usually movie makers, TV makers may not have the budget to always to do what needs to be done. Sometimes they'd be more creative and do it themselves. Why? Because they didn't want to spend too much money, number one. And number two, they also, I know everything that goes round comes around. Right? You don't piss about with other people's work. So Close to the Edge by Yes is Toby's theme. So work it out. That's what YouTube found out effectively. That only took them how long? Nearly 24 years? And then more than that. Since 1984, they didn't realise it was real life. I told you, Close to the Edge by Yes is Toby's theme. So now I told you, now you can learn from the mistakes you make. Right? In the day, Mattel fucked up, and they always had done. They just want to claim their music, Thomas theme, as their own. I said, no. That's not going to happen, and it will never will do. Why? Because copyright versus copyright doesn't work. So when people steal music, who gets the actual credit in the end? The two people below you. Those two. The two that got credited, not the original artists. Now, if the original artists got credited for it, you will get a better result. Always will do, always shall do. Why? I don't mess around with copyright. However, I use it as a 1976 copyright law for a fair use policy. So when it all goes down to fair use, that's what I'm following. Always had fun, always shall do. Right? In reality, these two buggers down there deserve their heads chopped off. And that's just being realistic. Because they don't know what they're doing. So what happens when they all got original artists now need respect? Close shave. Yeah, well, get respected. So it all adds up. But when it goes down on paper in black and white, you don't piss about or argue. There's a lot of people that don't know right from wrong, or what to do next, or what do they do. I said original artists, music artists deserve their respect. Sometimes you might have to dig deeper for Thomas's theme because you have to look at that other video that I uploaded last time because that showed it. Edward's theme was on Band-Aid, like I stated before. That's another one. I said, yeah, well, the footage is fine because it was done by Model Railways, and I already know that because it's Hornby. So work it out. Work out all that island, right? It's in Norfolk, upside down. Hmm. You think everything was small in the end? A lot of my private connections already knew this from the beginning. I said respect the original music artists, because you might find out you might buy Batman the theme itself, and then ending up saying I got a copy of Sad Story of Henry. Right, you bought it to listen, and obviously that, but you can't really dispute it because that would be like down the copyright law business. But at the end of the day, copyright versus copyright, that's where the fucking problem is. Artists have to safeguard their work. Why? Even if they're given them permission to use it, it's still their work. And it's reality on the other end. So when it all goes down to it, when I said, stop, work it out. If YouTube has already caught that one out, as I stated at the bottom here, what happens next? When they realise that Toby's theme was actually based on that. They won't be laughing now, would they? They'd be sitting back and letting it unfold. And saying, fuck, I did not know that. Probably half the people did not know that. But they're learning up here now. Band-Aid for Edward's theme. So it all adds up. Ding, 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 ding. Goes light on. So when it all goes through, who gets the last laugh? And it's not me. So original artists are the ones that actually feel sad right now because they can't even fight back what they actually done themselves because they got these two bastards up here. So the people that did this, stole all the music from you, they're wrong. They're in the wrong, and all the original artists safeguard their work now more than ever. Why? Because they always know where the original work came from. Right? When the people that are dead that can't fight back, right? Respect the dead is another one, which is why I said respect the dead, respect the original artists that are dead, right? Is what I'm talking about. Right? In the day, you got to learn from that to get the result. I said, if you did not know that, where do you think it all was coming from? I said the original. Right? In the day. So if Mattel starts moaning and saying, it's our work, I said, no, it's not, in any angle. So what happens when it fights back with fire? You get burnt. So Mattel, as a company, is a toy company. Most of the time. When they took it on, the Thomas franchise, they screwed it up. So when Mattel goes round and saying, it's our music, they say, as they would, and they will just stump the foot and they will say no. Because Mattel screwed up the same issue. You see, we talk about copyright versus copyright. Who gets the last laugh? Won't be me, because I'll be dead serious and stick and stern. Always. Because it's reality, you damn morons out there. Use your heads. YouTube has already worked it out. So there you go. It's in black and white. If I ever credited Close to the Edge, it's where Toby's theme is based on. You know, sometimes people don't even pay attention to listen to music and understand where the clips are coming from. And then people saying, shit, I did not know that. Divas Diesel was another one. Ben King, Stand By Me, Boom Boom, another original artist. You see, it's like I say, the Thomas Friends should credit the original artists. So when it's all there in black and white, you can't bloody argue. So when it all adds up, who do you blame? See what I mean? Well, I said fight with fire half the time. When people go into a lot of hard work and a lot of predicament, I said, in the longer run, you're going to get burnt. It's not the people that want to just to not redistribute it or resell it for their own personal gain or anything. They just basically want to use it just to give out a reference or just use it for their background while they're doing a podcast or video YouTube. Why, I get it, but you still have to credit the bloody original artists. But with Thomas's theme, that's down to two artists. One is dead, one's alive. Ringo Starr was one of them. So I catch that one out straight off. So Mattel screwed up for everything. So while they screwed it up first, or last I would say, these bastards screwed it up first. So when you want money, when you talk about these songs, do your homework first. Because you might end up with a big bang on the end saying it's reality. A big dose of reality helps the cops in a lot of ways. Don't get me wrong, I don't get any disputing out of that. But in the end of the day, it's reality versus reality. But at the same time, you've got copyright versus copyright all around the globe. And they all go, because it's reality on the footnote in every angle. So what happens when it all fires up? Copyright versus copyright. Doesn't make sense, does it? When you got these two got stealing the music. I said, yeah, now you got the original music artists deserve their respect in every direction. All you have to do is listen to it, find out where it's coming from, and bump your uncle. You can buy it as a full track without no problems. The problem is they're selling it again on other people's work. That's even illegal. Right? Let me give you another example, right? Let me say I bought Toby's theme off the internet, right? Not by the original artist, right? And I bought it from those two dickheads that stole the music, right? Right? Let's just say I bought their music, right? That means I bought it from people that stole the music from underneath. The original artists are complaining, right? They're going to make a big sue out of this because I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be straight. I want to be honest. I want to be caring. I want to be doing everything under the right of the law, not just copyright versus copyright, just wrong, right? It may be the topic of today, don't get me wrong, but it's reality. When you got these two fucking cunts that stole the music from underneath you, what did the music artists do? They then step their foot down and tell Mattel, no, you didn't own the Thomas theme, because we just realised who it belonged to. Ringo Starr and the Beatles. So you give them full credit where credit is due, while those two buggers down there go, what? Shit? Yeah, well, it's a common sense. So the original artists deserve their respect because they may have helped and contributed, but they put the big gun on the end. So while these two buggers got the gun at themselves, they basically killed themselves because they didn't think when they put music into Thomas and Friends. I want to get you on a clean slate on a certain subject, right? I want to make sure you understand it's real life. You can't complain about that, right? But when Mattel screwed up, they took on everything that was given to them by Britt Orcroft. It's not her fault. It's down to them. You know what I mean? Mattel and these two. You know, when you sell the music twice, who do you want to go to? The original artists or the actual bastards that's selling it again for the same, like £8 for the same bloody price for music? Let me explain to you what I'm talking about realistically, right? When I look up Close to the Edge by yes, obviously it would be, right? That tells me I'm gonna make a move that everybody didn't expect the fact of Crawler would do, right? Myself personally, my ad, right? It's all gonna come sense when it comes to reality in the end, right? Close to the Edge. Yes, that's what I need. Right, I'm going to tell you how to do this in the cleanest slate way impossible, right? If you like, yes, as example, as a band, you will buy their music Close to the Edge, because that's where you will find it, right? I'm not going to bullshit with you in any direction, because I don't want you to violate the copyright through the bastards that stole the music and the original artists, right? So when you look at music as a prime example, music can catch you out. YouTube has already found out where the original artists are. Now they managed to click those two together, so if two pieces become a whole, fuck these two up. Because why? Because they got caught. So when you think of copyright versus copyright, that involves the cop as well. For actually saying, yeah, we believe that now. Bang, bang, because it's all played out. But when it's all played out in front of you, you don't flame and argue, do you? When a lot of music has been played in front of you, usually you would take the original McCoy in the all plain eyesight. I'm not saying that out of rudeness or out of respect. It's about respect in the end. When we all talk about where the music came from and where it came from, what it does, I said, people find out in the end. You can't hear it as such, but I want you to understand where the songs are coming from because logically, I want you to have the legit version, obviously, and making sure that you get what you need. Because in the day when the Michael Conville and Mattel screwed up with the same issue, I said the original artists deserve their respect. Because in reality, you're going to end up with a big fire gun in your point, saying why. Think of these two as the Steelers, as they call it, right? You have to do your research a little bit more. If YouTube has already caught this out once, they won't be caught out next time because the original artists that actually did the work in the first place get the full credit. So they can't say, oh, we did it. I said, no, you bloody didn't. If I had to catch those two out, who's next on the line that actually knows the original artists, music artists that deserve their respect for doing it in the first place? They're still selling it as a track. They're still selling it as music. But in the day, it all adds up. Why? So when you realise it's close to the edge, you do not piss about with it. Sometimes you have to be realistic. You know, the problem is people want to let you know that it's their work, not the two that stole the music from underneath them. What they've done is they've basically heard their music, as example, and then these two buggers, I will say the two buggers at the top here, basically heard the music, and what they do is they take that little bit, which is all they do, and recompose it on their pianos or their computers or whatever, and it adds up. But when they upload it on Amazon, what do? They sell it. And what happens? Then the artists on the other end, the original artists, might add, right, said, "You stole our music! You stole our music!" So what happens when it goes bang, 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 wallop? Copyright versus copyright. So what happens? Those two, Michael Donald and Campbell, stole the music. Right? You can't say it's their work. You can't. Not anymore. Because I'm saying you are swiped out. Why? Why am I telling you now, more than anything, to say you're about to get burnt? Right? This is a type of copyright body problem we always have to suffer at the end. The original artists deserve their respect. In all prime eyesight, they're the ones that try and sell the music in all prime eyesight. I said, yeah. Right? When it all goes to that, it goes to reality in the end. I said, yeah. When people know it's reality, but they don't want to put, and they know it's what it is, if you know. I said, yeah. One of these days, they're going to start wondering shit. When people do the homework and they actually research the background of the music and everything else, people will be off the hook a little bit. And then you will understand why the original artists have to be respected in all directions. I said, yeah. So if you think these two deserve all the bloody credit, no. But if they sold it as their own product, that's wrong and illegal as well. Because the original artists are now pissed off. Because they try to make money on the same material. Now, if Journey came along and told them to fuck off, right, they will end up with one problem. Journey will say, we just worked, if the Fat Controller worked this out, myself, third gen, Stephen, top of that, the third, what happens when it all backfires in your fucking damn face? You can't argue. Right, they stole the music from everybody, those two. And I said, yeah. How many people are they going to steal before you realise it's reality on the other end? Downbusters from How the Helicopter theme, which is true. And that's a film theme. And then you got Indiana Jones on top. And then you got other themes on top. I said, yeah. Now, who's bloody not laughing? The original artists are now wanting their respect. They want credit to see. They want to. In the day, people don't think like they do now. Right? Today's date, people are getting clipped for music they actually own and people that actually don't own it officially. Right? Mattel doesn't own fuck all. In the other days, real life, all the time, when they hear it, they know Mattel saying, Oh, I own that, I own that, I own that, I own that, I own that. And what's Mattel going to do? They can't do nothing about it. Because I am trying to give you a bit of dignity and pride. This could happen to anyone. Right? When people think copyright versus copyright, I said around the globe, I know there's copyright laws are fucking different, but in reality, use your heads just for bloody once in your damn lives to realise why. So when it goes too close to edge by yes, it's Toby's theme, then who are you gonna say? Then it will make you realise why. How many times are you? I just think, in the other day, American artists should protect their work, respect their work, and obviously be down the line. If you're going to use it for Thomas and Friends in the future, make sure they get the credit. Because in the days when you use some other people's work, right, if YouTube could clip Toby's theme, what I just stated, I said these two got the stealing point. So work around it. People are working it out every damn day. And people are getting YouTube works it all out. Which I will state for the record, YouTube, you're doing your job, but I want you to know that those two people down below, Michael Donald and Drew Campbell, stole the music from all the artists. And that's quoted by me as well. Because I don't like to lie or be deceitful. So it's reality, it's facts, and you can't lie on it. So when it comes down to copyright law, what happens to those two buggers? They go to bloody prison. They're making, all they're doing is selling other people's work. Again. So when I buy the music, I hear it, I listen to it very carefully, then I put it to the original artist's work. Why? Because they deserve the credit. So the original artists deserve their respect and honesty. I'm not going to argue because the cops will actually investigate it and say, shit, he's right. I've never seen a copyright versus copyright. Right? It's true. It's like reality versus reality. You're dealing with reality, right? The cops will then say, why? Why did this artist, let's just take Yes as an example, right? And those two buggers at the top stole the music. What happens? Something doesn't add up. When I listen to original music, it makes a lot more sense on the line, right? When a lot of people say, why? Just ask yourself a question. If I was telling you this now, there's a damn good reason for it. And you at the Norfolk Railway, they don't give a shit about this, but at the reality core, it all they will work it out for themselves in the end when their head's screwed on, and then they're gonna let me fix the problems they got up there to realise they got falsified information about me. So work it out. The reality is now coming through. Bing bella boom. You can't argue with that, sir. It ain't your Uncle Thomas. So what happens when it unfolds in front of you? Copyright versus copyright. With the music, it's a very hard one to deal with because now YouTube is going to monitor music from dead on. Because I'll tell YouTube, keep monitoring all Thomas themes at all time. Because you will find out there's copyright material for other artists. Right? So what happened is the original music artists, right? I can't name them all because it's a big list. But if you could catch them out, and you heard it before in another theme like Band-Aid for Edward's theme and all that, it all adds up. A lot of people can't put the dots together to realise it's reality. So when it's reality versus reality, you can't do that. You can't do copyright versus copyright, which you can do, actually, because you actually have to respect the original artists in the end. So they get the full credit, you see. So when I'm giving you examples to realise, shit, these two stole the music. So when I'm not laughing, would I laugh about people stealing music from the original artists? Right? A lot of people that use music on YouTube normally use it as a fair use policy, which is 1976. Right? A lot of my videos, right to the bottom, from the first one all the way to the bottom, is all 1976 law. Why? Because I'm fair use. I'm not a bullshitter. I'm not a liar. I'm not a piss artist. I don't take drugs. I don't do anything like that. Right? But down the core, copyright versus copyright. Put these two in prison now, while they're still bloody at large at the moment. So Mattel has to get sued as well because they're taking the Thomas theme as their own when it's actually part Ringo Starr. So what happens then? So when it goes down the line, it's gonna go bang bang wallop. You see, people are gonna start waking up. They're gonna learn to wake up so bloody badly they will end up crying wolf and then end up saying shit. I did not realise that. Well, it's real life. You've got Danny Hoffman as well, who's a real good movie composer who deserves their respect, deserves his respect as well for putting the Batman theme into Thomas and Friends, but it wasn't him that done it. You know, when people nick music from other people and then they claim it as their own and upload it on Amazon as example, work it out. Okay, it's unique, okay, but they don't deserve all the credit. That's the bloody catch of those two. You know, when original artists, music artists, are now going to protect their work even more, I'm going to make the copyright even more tighter. Because I will help YouTube on that too. I said everything is fair use as long as they're not selling it or redistributing it. So when I say to you guys, it's a little bit of a cat and mouse drag when it comes to copyright. But when it's copyright versus copyright, work it out. What did I'm trying to tell you? In all plain eyesight, all copyright law is all bloody the same to a point. Right? When people know these things and they pick up on bigger detail, I said the copyright versus copyright is what I'm dealing with because it's reality in the end. I said, yeah, look how much bloody problem you got. They got this problem, you got that problem, you got this problem, you got that problem. I said, yeah, look at it now. You're not going to be crying wolf because the original artists have to have their respect. So while it's all coming out to light in black and white, people are going to start saying all the credit goes to the music artists that originally done it, not the ones that are nicking it from underneath them. Because in the day, it's like saying, shit, Britt Orcroft should know this inside and out. I said copyright versus copyright does not work. So when it all goes on to the tables, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, that's for sure. You know, when copyright versus copyright, how many things have you noticed over the years that are done by original artists, but they get credited? Right? End of the day, you have to work out why. Why? Why am I always stating to you that the original artists deserve their respect? Why? It's like Close to the Edge by Toby's theme. I said it's reality, it's fact, and it's logic. If you're not quite sure about what song that is directly. I said, yeah, I will help you on that too. Right, in the day you're gonna get what shit. I did not realise that. The song that you're all moaning about, right? This is why the writers are gonna start fucking telling you off, not me, because it's their fucking music, right? The writers, right, for that song alone, for Toby's theme alone, I said these are the writers that you have to give respect to. I said Toby's theme is in it, close to it, yes, but the writers is these two. Right? I'm not going to argue John and Heston. I said, yeah. You see, when it comes down to the writers and you're all looking at it like a black and white, I said, yeah. The song and the artist comes from them. I'm not going to be bullshitting the bush. So there's the full song of Toby, or Never Enough, where the song has come from. I said, yeah, they wrote it. So that's what you need. You see, that's Toby's theme in general. Now, are you going to credit the ones that stole the music from underneath them? Quote, always credit the original artist deserves their respect. Right? When it all goes down to these guys, they stole the music. So when it's all realistic, in reality, I trust all of their hard work they put in. One of these days, people are gonna start waking up and smelling the coffee and realize they stole the music and they always had done. But there's other people out there, like certain countries, that don't want their countries to know about what's going on. I said, yeah. So there you go. That's Toby's theme in the hole, right? Close to the edge by Toby's, by Yes, it's Toby's theme. And then John Aniston and Steve Hull as the writers. And then you got that on the bottom. I said, song, that's what you need. So there you go, in black and damn white. So when it comes down to it, don't go back to these damn assholes because they're going to get sued. Mattel's going to get sued. And these two are going to prison for nicking other people's work. Thank you very much. In every angle.